Anjali had always believed that love stories were meant for other people, girls with softer smiles, brighter laughter, and lives that didn't revolve around early morning lectures and late-night study sessions in a cramped Mumbai flat. At 24, she was halfway through her master's in computer science, buried in code and caffeine, convinced that romance was a distraction she couldn't afford. Her parents back in Lucknow kept sending photos of suitable boys, but Anjali politely deflected every conversation about marriage. She wasn't against the idea forever. She just wanted it to feel like hers, not something arranged over chai and family WhatsApp groups. That changed the day she met Lucky. It was raining, the kind of relentless Mumbai monsoon that turned streets into rivers and auto rickshaws into submarines. Anjali was running late for a guest lecture at her university, her laptop bag clutched against her chest as she dashed toward the metro station. She collided with someone just outside the gate, hard enough that her bag slipped, her umbrella flipped inside out, and she nearly went down on the wet pavement. Strong hands caught her elbows before she hit the ground. "Sorry, I'm so sorry," she gasped, looking up. The man holding her steady smiled, rain dripping from his dark hair onto his lashes. He was tall, wearing a light gray hoodie under a black raincoat, earbuds dangling around his neck. His eyes were kind, a little amused, and entirely too calm for someone who'd just been body checked by a frantic stranger. "No harm done," he said in lightly accented English. "Are you okay?" Anjali nodded, flustered, trying to fix her umbrella while balancing her bag. "I'm late for a lecture, and now I look like a drowned rat." He laughed softly. "You look like someone in a hurry. Here." He took the broken umbrella from her hand, snapped it shut, and handed her his own, a large black one that actually worked. "Take this. I'm almost at my stop anyway." "I can't just take your umbrella. You can return it," he said, already stepping back. "I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday for a workshop at the media center. Same time. If you're around, give it back then." Before she could protest further, he was gone, swallowed by the crowd and the rain. Anjali stood there for a moment, staring at the umbrella in her hand. On the handle, in small silver letters, was a name Kaim. She told herself it was nothing. A polite stranger, a borrowed umbrella. But for the rest of the day, she kept glancing at it, wondering about the man who'd given it away so easily. Tuesday came. Anjali told herself she was only returning the umbrella because it was the right thing to do. Not because she'd spent the weekend wondering what kind of person named their child Lucky. She found him outside the media center, leaning against the wall, scrolling through his phone. When he looked up and saw her, his face broke into that same easy smile. "You came," he said. "I'm a woman of my word," she replied, holding out the umbrella. "Thank you. You saved me from becoming a human waterfall." He took it but didn't move away. "I'm Lucky. I read the handle," she said, then winced. "That sounded creepy." "I'm Anjali, not creepy. Practical." He tooted his head. "Do you have time for coffee as payment for umbrella rescue services?" She should have said no. She had assignments. But instead, she heard herself say, 15 minutes. They ended up talking for 2 hours. Lucky was from Seoul, in Mumbai for 6 months on a cultural exchange program. He was a video editor and short film director, teaching workshops on digital storytelling while learning about Indian cinema. He loved old Bollywood songs, spicy street food, though he admitted Pani Puri had nearly ended him, and the way Mumbai never slept. Anjali found herself laughing more than she had in months, telling him about her family's obsession with her marriage, her secret love for K-dramas, and how she sometimes coded until dawn just to quiet her mind. When they finally parted, he asked for her number. "I'd like to see you again," he said simply. "If you want." She did. What followed felt like a dream she was afraid to wake from. They met whenever their schedules allowed. Late-night chai at a tapery near her hostel. Long walks along Marine Drive, where he taught her Korean phrases and she taught him Hindi slang. Quiet evenings in empty university classrooms where he showed her clips of his films and she explained algorithms to him like they were poetry. Lucky listened to her the way no one ever had. When she talked about feeling pressure to settle down, he didn't offer solutions. He just asked questions that made her see herself more clearly. When she doubted her abilities, he watched her code with quiet wonder, telling her she built worlds the way he did, just with different tools. And slowly, carefully, Anjali fell. She noticed the little things. How he always walked on the outside of the sidewalk. How he remembered she liked her coffee with less sugar. How he sent her photos of sunsets from whatever part of the city he was filming in, captioned with a single heart emoji. One evening, 3 months after the umbrella incident, they were sitting on the seawall at Bandstand. The sky was turning pink and orange, and the waves crashed loud enough to drown out the city noise. "I leave in 8 weeks, Lucky said quietly. Anjali's heart dropped. She'd known this was temporary. 6 months. That was the deal. "I know," she said, trying to sound steady. He turned to face her fully. "I don't want this to end when I go back." She looked at him, throat tight. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I love you." "Anjali." His voice was soft but certain. "I didn't plan this. I didn't expect it. But I love you. And I want to figure out how to make this work." She stared at him, tears blurring the sunset. "I love you too," she whispered. "So much it scares me." They kissed then, slow and careful, like they were sealing something fragile and precious. But love, Anjali was learning. Didn't make logistics disappear. The next were a blur of stolen moments and growing dread. Lucky's program ended. He had commitments in Seoul, a film project, family expectations, a life he couldn't just abandon. Anjali had her final semester, her parents' increasing insistence on meeting, prospective matches, and the terrifying reality that long distance across countries, cultures, and time zones rarely survive. They promised to try. Video calls every day, visits when possible. But even as they said the words, both felt the weight of what was coming. 2 weeks before Lucky's flight, Anjali's mother called. Betta, we found a very good boy. Doctor, same community. He's coming to Mumbai next month with his family to meet you. Anjali closed her eyes. Ma, I'm not ready. You're 24. You can't wait forever. Love comes after marriage too, you know. She didn't tell her mother about Lucky. How could she explain falling for a Korean filmmaker she'd known only 5 months? How could she say she'd already given her heart to someone her family would never accept? That night, she met Lucky at their usual tapery. He took one look at her face and knew something was wrong. My parents want to fix my marriage, she said flatly. He went very still. And you? I don't want it. But I don't know how to fight it. Not without losing everything. He reached for her hand. Then don't fight alone. Tell them about me. She laughed bitterly. You don't understand. They'll say you're not Indian, not Hindu, that this is just a phase, that I'm throwing my life away for a foreigner. Lucky's jaw tightened. So I'm a face. No, she squeezed his hand. You're the realest thing I've ever had. They sat in silence as the city moved around them. Finally, he spoke. Come with me. She blinked. What? Come to Seoul just for a visit first? Meet my family. See if you could live there. If not, I'll come back here. I'll find work. I'll learn everything I need to. I don't care where we are, Anjali. I just want us. Tears rolled down her cheeks. It's not that simple. I know. But love isn't supposed to be simple. It's supposed to be worth it. The night before his flight, they met one last time at the airport. Not inside, outside, under the harsh lights of the departure drop-off. Anjali had barely slept. Her eyes were red, her voice hoarse. I can't come with you, she said. Not yet. I need to talk to my parents. I need to finish my degree. I need time. Lucky nodded, though his eyes were glassy. I'll wait. Even if it takes years, even then. They held each other like they were trying to memorize the feeling. When he finally walked away, Anjali stood there long after his figure disappeared through the doors. The months that followed were the hardest of her life. She told her parents about Lucky. The fight was everything she'd feared. Tears, shouting, accusations of betrayal. Her mother cried for days. Her father didn't speak to her for weeks. But Anjali stood her ground quietly. She finished her degree with top honors. She learned a job at a tech startup. She saved money. She learned Korean on Duolingo until her accent made Lucky laugh over video calls. He, too, fought. He told his parents about the Indian girl he loved. They were confused, worried about cultural differences, but Lucky was their only son, and they saw how serious he was. Slowly, they came around. 18 months after Lucky left Mumbai, Anjali boarded a flight to Seoul. He was waiting at Incheon airport, holding a sign that said, Anjali ki shady won't soon, in Hindi. She ran to him. They kissed in the middle of arrivals. Ignoring stares and smiles from strangers, his family welcomed her with cautious warmth that grew into genuine affection over weeks of shared meals, broken Korean phrases, and Anjali's determined efforts to fit in. She loved Seoul, the quiet efficiency, the mountains, the way autumn turned the city gold. But more than that, she loved waking up next to Lucky. 6 months later, they married. Not in one place, but two. First, a small civil ceremony in Seoul with Lucky's family and friends. Anjali wore a simple white dress, Lucky wore a suit. They exchanged rings under cherry blossoms. Then they flew to India. Anjali's parents had softened over time. Video calls with Lucky, seeing their daughter's happiness, realizing love could cross oceans. They agreed to a small wedding in Lucknow, traditional but intimate. Anjali wore red and gold, Lucky wore a sherwani. He took part in every ritual with quiet respect, even when the priest stumbled over his name. During the Pharas, as they circled the sacred fire, Lucky whispered in her ear, told you I'd wait. Anjali smiled through happy tears. And I told you love was worth it? Years later, people would ask how they made it work. 2 countries, 2 cultures, 2 very different worlds. Anjali would always say the same thing. It started with an umbrella on a rainy day. And it never stopped raining love. Their home became a beautiful mix. Bollywood posters next to Korean film awards. Masala chai brewed alongside iced Americano. Diwali lights twinkling beside Chuseok decorations. And every monsoon, when the Mumbai skies opened up, Anjali and Lucky would stand on their balcony in Silsi or Mumbai, depending on the year, sharing one umbrella, just like the beginning. Because some love stories don't just happen, they stay.